gentlemen, Facebook, Instagram, the entire lane of social media, it's July 26th celebration. The First State Old Timers Sports Association of Delaware, in collaboration with Delaware Liberian Association, present to you and yours Independence Day festivities to begin with Friday, July 25th ball and dinner. Address is 627 Smyrna Clayton Boulevard in Smyrna, Delaware. Doors open at 6 p.m. Admission is $50 flat. Then on Saturday, July 26th, kickball action will bring face to face the beautiful ladies of Invisible 11 versus the talented ladies of Madibaroa. Right after the kickball game, 90 minutes of soccer action will take complete control of the Brandon Wan Stadium. Invisible 11 RE making plans to stop Madibaroa from repeating history. Who's better than the other? Can Invisible 11 sabotage Madibaroa from repeating history? Who owns the first state of Delaware? Well, let's find out. It's going down on Saturday, July 26th. Address is 1400 Fog Road. That's the Brandon Wan Stadium in Wilmington, Delaware. Doors open at 12 noon. Admission for kids absolutely free. Children is $5. Adults is $10. For more information concerning vendors plus more, give us a call at 267-312-2745. You can also call 484-470-9204 and 215-704-1606. Right after the game is the after party. Hey, come on, come to party real hard. After party address is 2411 Lancaster Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. Then the cookout follow on Sunday. It's absolutely free to all. The women of Delaware will bring the food as the gentlemen of Delaware, they have agreed to come with the drinks. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Cookout address will be announced later. Come and enjoy the Liberian 178th Independence Day celebration with the Delawareans in Delaware. I'm His Eminence G. Francis Torgbean. Hey, come on. Meet me in the first state of Delaware, and I'll be glad to meet you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerome Gaiman, your host. Welcome to our Friday edition of The Closing Argument. We are going to be looking around and listening across the globe about what are they saying about the protest, the day after the protests. We are going to be scanning all the newspapers. We are going to listen to Al Jazeera's take on the protests. There was a very disturbing video that came into our studio. It's making the round. A Liberian mother gave birth on the streets of Monrovia. She was denied medical care and entry into the Redemption Hospital, and she had her baby on the sidewalk right outside of the Redemption Hospital. This is 2025 in the Republic of Liberia. Even a mother in distress stands no chance. I think at a hospital in the medical field, they have something called the Hippocratic oath that they take, which is do no harm. This is the oath that doctors and nurses and health professionals take, to absolutely do no harm, especially those who are in critical need. Even the Geneva Convention says something about women in labor. But in Liberia, it's a different story. The lady was in pain, in labor. And they drove her to the Redemption Hospital, and the first thing they needed was whether she was a paying patient. She had the money. They won't allow her in. After she had a baby on the street, with help from bystanders. Then we heard the hospital say, you bring them in. Bring the mother and the baby in. This is your Liberia. A mother in distress. What kind of country is this Republic of Liberia? (2025) a mother, a woman in distress, having a baby on the street, on the sidewalk. Thanks to passerbys, people, regular, ordinary people passing by, help her deliver the baby at the front entrance of a government hospital, Redemption Hospital. What kinds of people, what kinds of country, what kinds of government, what kinds of professional folks do we have in this place called Liberia? We are praying that the mother and baby will be fine. Hopefully, one of these days, our investigative journalists will go and find our mother and the baby. Hopefully, they are doing well. Let me welcome Myean. Myean, good to see you. Welcome, young man.
How you doing, Mr. Gilman? How's the family? I'm doing great from Liberia here, most especially Pinsville. I'm doing great.
Excellent. Before we go into politics, before we go into current event, this particular video caught my attention. Someone sent it to me early this morning, and I make sure I sent it to you to make sure that it was verified, that it was legit. Is that video legit?
Yes, I contacted someone, and then the person was like, yes. But the issue that I had with that video was the person who was was talking on it was not a journalist. So I asked the person said yeah, because the person was on the scene, that's why, but the journalist that I contacted, he was not on the scene, but he confirmed to me. But he said the person who was talking the video is now a journalist. I said yes, because a journalist, yeah, even if you are covering something, that's not how you talk on it. But albeit that video, I got it this morning when he sent me. It shocked me. I even sent it to some of my colleagues, and then they were asking me how I managed to get the video, and then the video started to spread all over.
You see, for us and for you journalists and for people in government, people all around the world, we are saying you do not have to be a trained journalist anymore. Everyone that has a cell phone and can record live event with the exception of staging. I don't care what you say, because as educated folks, we can decide for ourselves. But if it is factual, a woman is having a baby on the sidewalk, there's no other way I don't care how you put it. You know, whether they're a journalist or they're a pastor, they're a preacher, it is something that is disturbing. If you have that video, hopefully, guys, when you see this video,
I'm sad the video is set already.
Okay, don't listen to the commentary because he's a regular person. He's excited like everybody else. But the story itself, in our country, a mother on the sidewalk, on the street. Let's play that video. Thank God to our traditional women.
Hospital, hospital in La Bro. They want to put the woman inside, the woman came right from the hospital. As you can see, you see how they play pass over the woman laying down on the ground. You want to put there are some women in there. Oh yeah, we take a post to go. The rest to go, man. Then I don't care more is about to eat money. The stupid ass are living inside. You are just working. I'm going to chat you now.
Okay, Myean, that's enough. This is what we are talking about. Citizens helping citizens. People, women, gathering to give a helping hand. Our mothers, our sisters, they banded together, put arms around each other, created some sense of privacy for this woman. Jesus, what is wrong with our nation? We have a nation people who have no sense of decency when they have power. A hospital administrator is saying a pregnant woman who has gone into labor in pain should be investigated whether she has money. I have heard, I have seen everything. I have heard everything about the Republic of Liberia. This one, the Freetown method, it passed mark. Can you imagine if you were drowning and the fire folks or the rescue folks come and the first thing they want to know is whether you have money to buy gas for their truck while you are drowning. While the rescue equipment are there. You have a hospital with nurses, with doctors, standing indoor, lock the gate and the front door, and they are peeping through the window. You can see that were people standing behind those doors, peeping out, looking. But no one have the sense of decency to say, you'll bring her in. If she has the baby, she will call families, she will call friends. When we have babies in our in this world, everybody is excited. Friends and family who are put together and come and pay the bill. A woman is having a baby in an unsanitized environment. If you are not disgusted, then we need to check your head. Whomever is considered a doctor or nurse, the entire hospital should be investigated. That woman, the civic society, they should file a lawsuit on behalf of this baby and the mother for cruelty. Let me go to Myean. Myean, let's go to current events. Let's talk about, there's breaking news coming into our studio. Someone just faxed it to me. We are checking it. They said Brussels Airlines has canceled some flight to Liberia, leaving people stranded in Europe. And someone sent me some pictures. We're going to verify to make sure whether it is true. But this is what someone sent me from.
Mr. Kimmy, it's true. I did a story on that. It is true.
Okay, talk to us about that real quick.
Okay, so with that information, Brussels Airlines, according to the reliable sources I gathered, because I received a video, and then let me be talking as I put the video up. I received this video some part like 3 to 4 o'clock this evening, where the person sent me the video, and when I watched the video, the person did a recording and then sent it to me. Some Liberians and Sierra Leoneans, they were on board when they arrived in Belgium after a few times. According to the Air Brussels, they said that they don't have a visa to be able to go to the next destination. So they also have on board some Europeans and also some Americans who were also on board. And then based on that, the Air Brussels took the Americans and the Europeans and then carried them out of a hotel and lodging them, have a food for them. But the Liberians and the Sierra Leoneans were not given the opportunity, no sleeping place, no food for them. They left in the terminal. There where they slept for almost they spent almost 24 hours. Just imagine 24 hours. They never had any way out or in. No one. So suddenly it was how the Sierra Leonean called on their ambassador, and then the ambassador sent representative there. And also in that process, it was how Liberians started to reach out to some of their colleagues back home, and then some who are outside there started to reach out to them, or how they were able to put in for the ambassador, Cindy, if I'm getting the name correct. And then they were trying to make their way there to see how they can settle that issue. But up to now, the president haven't yet given me any update as to whether the ambassador reached there or how they ended. But I did a story and then I published it.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, something of that nature, you think the Republic of Liberia, somebody from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Transport who have said something to the Liberian audience, who have spoken to the nation, who have said something. Up till now, there's nothing. If we didn't get the information and publish it, nobody would be aware of what's happening to our fellow Liberians stranded in Brussels.
So I published a video this afternoon. We had over, if I'm not mistaken, we had over 30,000 persons that watched the video. People made comments on the video, and then so many people expressed dissatisfaction. And then let me see where I can be able to play this video out here.
Yes, please find it. This is, and I'm going to keep referencing the year 2025. And these things are happening.
Yeah, here's the video.
Okay, let's look at the video, guys.
So this is where Brussels Airlines brought us to sleep in this open air. Yeah. I think this is where people come to pray. And here's the bathroom. They said we're going to take shower only for 2 hours, the general bathroom. Yeah. And then this is the place that they brought us. In this open air, can you imagine? Our flights were canceled, not our fault, but they brought us here and they took away those who had American passport, British passport, and the Asian passport to a comfortable hotel. And we Liberians were brought here to sleep. Okay, so this is the bed they said they brought for us to sleep. Can you imagine? This is the bed they said they brought for us to sleep. This is the bed they brought for us to sleep in this open air.
This is the 5-star hotel.
So, Mr. Gimen, that's the video there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not funny, but it's very comical that our Liberian passport is worth absolutely nothing. The Liberian life is worth absolutely nothing. And government after government have never put premium on its citizens. And this goes all the way back. I remember several years ago, I saw Mr. Fagon and some officials, I think that this one was in Morocco, where citizens will be held basically in a cage for hours, sometimes 10, 12 hours, while they take the Americans and Europeans into hotels, and Liberians are left to fend for themselves. And you think by now the government of Liberia will have worked something out, making it absolutely clear. These people are not coming to Liberia for free. We are paying some steep dollars here. Mr. Seaton, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on the show again.
So here we are, all Liberian nationals, let me put an S to it, stranded, not any fault of their own. And the airlines is telling them to sleep in an open air. They brought those things we call camp bed. We used to call them camp bed when we were growing up. I guess it's still called camp bed. Kids use them when they go on camping trips. There is no privacy. Men and women, children, all in the same place. So why do they call this country a republic? Why do they refer to Liberia as a republic? When its citizens has no value. We put no premium on the citizens of this republic. Our women are having children, babies, in the streets. I guess everybody says the same thing. Charity begins at home. If you don't sell yourself well, nobody else is going to buy you anything with value. If Liberia can allow their citizens to die in the streets, to have babies in the streets, in front of a hospital, how do you think a foreign government should look at you? You are nothing, as evidenced by how you treat your own people. In America, where I'm at, in the West, they say the civilization of a society can be determined how you treat your citizens, most likely your animals and the elderly and children. In Liberia, a woman is in distress, having baby on the street, on the sidewalk. If they can treat her that way, what do you think the white man should say about you when you are stranded at a hotel or at an airport? Your government doesn't care about you. The government have not spoken to the Liberian people, not that I know of, about Liberians being stranded abroad. But this is the beauty of citizen journalism. We just talked about it. Nothing you do these days will stay in the darkness or in the dark. Somebody somewhere is recording you. Mr. Seaton, your take on the two issues we are discussing real quick before we go into politics. A woman being denied access to a hospital. She has a baby on the street in Monrovia, and then followed up by our citizens being treated like animals in Brussels. Your take, sir.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be on the show again. Mr. Gaiman, the issue with respect to healthcare delivery system in Liberia is deplorable. It's a shame. And it is inhumane. What do I mean by that? Most of our people don't have the money when they go to hospital. And as a result of that, and sometimes I wonder, what are these people, the hospital staff, what are they took the Hippocratic code to become a medical professional? You have to take the Hippocratic code. What are they really abiding by that code? Because that code says you must treat all of your patients humanely. What that means is that if a patient goes to a hospital in Liberia, whether they have money or not, the first thing that should be done is to do what? Take care of that patient, make sure that patient is well, then after that, you give them a bill. In Liberia, It is the other way around. And it is wrong. I had a cousin who died, and even a sister who died at Redemption Hospital because of this similar situation. Two of them suffered heart attack. They went to the hospital and they were told to present money before they could be treated. By the time the family back home could get that money, they were already gone. Their blood pressure level, their sugar level started dropping. And before they could get to treat the sugar level, both of them, they died, I believe, I think about 8 months apart. And this is a systemic issue in our country. And sometimes I wonder, what are the health officials doing? What are they doing? Are they just being paid taxpayer money and doing nothing to help our people? It is a shame that a woman is in labor, goes to a hospital, and then the hospital allow her to have the baby in the street? What type of country does that to its own citizenry? And let alone if other foreign countries are treating our people inhumanely. Now, what moral ground do we have to question what they do to our people, when in fact we ourselves ill-treat our own people? So, Mr. Gaming, it's a serious problem. It is a systemic problem in the Republic of Liberia. And I hope that somebody watching this show will take note of some of these issues that we try to highlight, so that there can be corrective measures to ensure that these kind of things do not happen to our people in Liberia.
Well, someone just posted here that this issue is prevalent because all the medical doctors, or most of them that can afford, they got their own private clinics, and they will make you or force you to go to these clinics at your expense.
And I think it is wrong.
Obviously.
You see, in other countries, if you are in private practice, you don't do public service job. That's conflict of interest. You cannot be a healthcare professional in Liberia, then you have your own private clinic. That's a serious conflict of interest. And we have heard stories where medical supplies and drugs have been taken away from government hospital and taken to private hospital. And then guess what? They get the drugs from the government hospital and take it to their private clinics and hospital. Then they charge people for that. And people think it is normal. People think it is normal. They don't see the evilness of that. They think it is normal. It is wrong. And I just hope that our lawmakers, who I would say are some of the problem makers in the country, will be able to look at some of these things. If you are in public service, you cannot have a private job. Two of them cannot mix. That's conflict of interest. Yes, if you are a businessman or a business, or you have your business and you have your clinic, and you are given a job at the Ministry of Health or with any government institution for that matter, the first thing you do, you put that business into a blind trust so as to avoid conflict of interest. You put that business into a blind trust, Let the trust company take care of your business. Let them run the day-to-day affairs of that company. And you do what? The public service job. At the end of the year, they give you an accounting of how much was made, how much was spent, how much was realized in profit. You got no control over it. It is in blind trust. Different group of company, a different company is handling it for you. That's how it's supposed to be. You cannot be in public service and at the same time you run your private business.
Absolutely.
You see, it is the same thing that caught the former commerce minister. He had his business and he was appointed commerce minister. He did not divorce himself from his business. He was running his business concomitantly with running the government job. You understand that? That what led to, you see how he resigned in disgrace? Those are some of the things we are talking about. It's the same thing that is happening at the National Port Authority, where the National Port Authority managing director is embroiled in this conflict with this Chinese national. Why? You are private, you have your private business, which is a good thing because you're providing employment for Liberia. We all cherish that. But while you have your private business and then you are given a public office and you decide to take the public office, divorce yourself of your business. Put it into a blind trust so as to avoid conflict of interest.
Excellent. Myean, let's go to current event. We took on three top issues here, but there are more. Like, for instance, Liberians are outraged. The government of Liberia secretly, clandestinely, has begun to raise new fees for health services in all hospitals across the country. Liberia Health Ministry fast-tracked drug distribution beyond road closure because they said the country road is going to be bad as of August. It will be impassable, so they want to deliver the drug. Now, these are folks who said there will be no car stock 90 days into the government. And we're going to be talking about something else that is very major. The President of the Republic of Liberia vetoes the bill that is supposed to divorce the different ports around the country from the Port Authority itself, from our own ports, which I think is a great thing. But let's go to Myean. Let's talk about current event on the ground, and then we're going to go into the rest. Talk to us. You are on the ground. What's trending?
Okay. So, Mr. Gamer, I just want to say thank you and thank to Mr. Sinton. I don't know where that's correct.
Sita.
Yeah, okay, Sita. So we'll go through our today headlines here. Firstly, I would just like to pass through the newspaper. I send you some of the newspaper.
Yes.
So I just like to pass through them. So we have Front Page Africa. Front Page Africa, the headlines here we have from the Front Page. We take full responsibility from Front Page Africa. Then we get to the Daily Observer, where we have on the front page of the Daily Observer. We will come back. Which we're talking this. This is the protesters. Because according to Mobile Molu yesterday, when he ended his speech, he gave the government 14 days ultimatum to respond. So if they don't respond, they are going to come back. That's why Daily Observer saying in this newspaper here. So we go at the back of the Daily Observer. It said Braga nominates law reform chairman Cannon to Supreme Court. So the president of Liberia on yesterday, he nominated the chairman on reform at the Supreme Court, Chairman Cannon. And also we have the women voices here saying the same headline. We will return. Who's saying this is the protester. And also on the scene, women voices newspaper, we have Liberian children petition Senate for base right. The students they are petitioning the government of Liberia, most especially the Senate, for base right, because nowadays we found out that students or young people, children, do not have the right to equal right in Liberia. Yeah, where at times you see some children on the street, no parents, they are selling on the street. Like our president said when he entered first, no children should be selling on the street. No children is allowed to sell on the street. If any child or children is caught selling on the street, they should be arrested and then taken then to the police station. Whosoever that sent them should be who responsible. But from the time the president said this up to present, we still seeing children selling on the street, standing in the middle of the street. Just imagine when traffic block, standing in the middle of the street, selling. At times you see them in front of vehicle. So you don't know that sometimes you see some vehicle driver, they drive roughly, and you might not know what may come from that. Standing in front of car selling is very, very dangerous for our young people, where you see at the age of 14, 13 years old, they are selling on the main road, on the main street of Monrovia, selling so many things. And so we still wait to see. So on this, the library investigator, they say act within the 14 days or face consequences. The library investigator saying this on this scene yesterday protest. And then we also come with this scene, library investigator say Liberia hosts a global transport summit within this scene, the library investigator. And we also come to Variety newspaper. We will reconvert. They are saying this. The same protester, stand chairman issue 14-day ultimatum, and also we see on the same Variety newspaper, Young Ao, former Chief Justice Siaden Young Ao, and Justice Minister or
Just
Chief Justice, yeah, basically as Senate confirmed new Chief Justice Yamin Bese. So we also have on the same Variety newspaper two officers wounded here, and I'm the one who did this story yesterday. Two officers wounded, and we also have on this Variety newspaper snow against this Zoom Lion, where we are going to discuss it strongly today. And starting from next week, we are going to discuss about this Zoom Lion issue. Zoom Lion, I did a research on it and I did an article where in 2013, when they were operating in Liberia, also operating in Ghana, the government through the World Bank, but then black, and they banned them from operating in Liberia for 2 years so they can be able to go to the World Bank and have a discussion on the table. But since then, up to now, Zoom Lion is yet to get any profit from what the World Bank did to them. And based on the World Bank report that I saw out, it's very, very terrible because so many things Zoom Lion was doing in Liberia that people could not benefit from them. And by then, it was the Unity Party government that was in power. Former President Eddie Johnson said it. So I'll just pass through it and then we'll discuss more on that. And then we see from this the New Republic newspaper, Braga da Rego. That's what I'm seeing on this newspaper, this New Republic newspaper here. And also we have so many newspaper here. I'll just go through them, and we have so many to discuss here. So let's go to our news challenge.
Hold on, Mr. Sita, can you mute? Oh, thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we have House Speaker Richard Nankwe champions call for the creation of legislative seats for women with one additional seat for a person living with disability. Speaker Richard Nankwe is saying that. And also we have President Joseph Yuma Boaga by that's proclamation declared Saturday, July 26, 2025 as Independence Day to be observed throughout the country as the national holiday. This coming Saturday will be the July 26, which the president called on all Liberians to be able to observe this day as a national holiday. No working, everyone, you respect this day because it is our independent day for Liberia. When we came our independent day, so we have to observe this day. So ahead of the Mano River Union, where they started today, we saw speakers from other countries like Ghana, Sierra Leone, and I think Nigeria was also here. They having a summit here in Liberia, where today we saw Speaker Rachel Kuhn made a statement from the Mano River Union Road Development and Transport Facilitation Project. The House of Representatives gave a US 20 million United States dollar loan agreement between the OPEC funds for international development and Liberia passes the amendment moreover industrial Part Act into law. So they had a lot of things today from the Mano River Union, and then they discuss it. So we have four speakers within the Mano River Union where they had meeting today, and they had a summit. So, Mr. Gimme, I'd just like to stop there and then give you the floor.
Excellent, young man. We have here the headlines from the different newspaper the day after the protest. Like he said, Front Page Africa has several. It says here, bigger, louder, and stronger and tougher the next time. Those are the threat. And on the front page of the Daily Observer, we will be back. That's what the protesters are saying. We discussed Mr. Waka nomination yesterday. On Women Voices, we will return. Protesters gave government 14 days ultimatum to respond to their demands. And then obviously the children petition the Senate for rights. We just discussed that. What country in the world does not value its children? The children are petitioning for equal justice, education, health, things that have bedeviled their families. If their parents cannot get these things, obviously the government needs to step in to make sure that these children grow in an environment where their growth is not hampered. Liberia suffers from something they call stunt growth. Our children are not growing fast enough. They are not developing well. So they are not getting taller, stunt, because their lack of the proper nutrition, healthcare, and stuff of that nature. You're out, busy in, as the Senate confirms the Chief Justice in speedy time. And on the New Republic, the front page in bold number says the message delivered, referring to the protesters. And we go on and on, but let's hear what the international community are saying or is saying. Do you have that video, Myean? Do you have that video from Al Jazeera? Okay, Myean is on a call, but we are going to listen to Al Jazeera, how they saw it when they covered the news yesterday in Liberia, and we will listen to that. But very important is the president vetoing the port bill. Myean, do you have that video from Al Jazeera?
Yeah, I have the video set from Al Jazeera on the protest yesterday. Listen. Yeah, so I can play it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so let me link you Al Jazeera video. Right here is already on. Just give me 1 minute.
Yes. So yeah. What we are saying.
So it said.
Okay, let's look.
Under pounding rain, the streets of Monrovia echo with chants of anger and frustration. Protesters march towards Capitol Hill, denouncing what they see as a betrayal by President Joseph Boaké's administration.
I'm in the street to remind my government of the past promises that they make to we the Liberian people, that they're going to better our lives. How can you say you came to better the life of the people, but then you came and you took people from jobs?
The right thing is to serve the people, because when you say your government is coming to rescue, you're saying that this man was doing such things, meaning corruption, right? And you coming to clean this, you coming to do the good thing, and now you come in and you take everything.
Many say the promises made during the 2023 election campaign remain unfulfilled. With inflation soaring and public sector salaries stagnant, people say their patience is wearing thin. Boaké, who took office in early 2024, pledged sweeping reforms. Supporters say the government has tackled corruption and made the country more attractive to investors. But critics say his government is failing the people.
We expect that Joseph Boaké, as president of Liberia, will meet the demands of protesters and listen to the cries of the some people that are suffering daily. People that are going to bed hungry at night without being able to afford food on a daily basis. Suffering is escalating out of control.
Liberia, recovering from 2 brutal civil wars and the 2014 Ebola crisis, remains one of the poorest countries in the world. Many believe the nation's abundant natural resources should be lifting people out of poverty, not leaving them behind.
We haven't been fortunate to have had leaders who prioritize Liberia development priorities in a way. We have a small country, small population, abundant resources, abundant enough to make Liberia self-sufficient and to have some of the highest GDP in Africa.
As tensions rise and public discontent grows louder, the pressure is on for Liberia's leaders to deliver on their promises. Vincent Monaghan, Al Jazeera.
Subscribe to our channel to get the latest news.
That is the take of the international community from the perspective of Al Jazeera. We read different newspapers. In fact, Senator Amara Conner did a piece warning his government to take heed, as this is serious. Like he said, the voice of the people is tantamount to the voice of God. When your people tell you something, you listen. This is not an AI. Mr. President, if you were watching the TV and you seen a pregnant woman having a baby on the streets, if your citizens in Brussels are stranded and being treated like animals, something needs to be done. Let me welcome Dr. Peabody. Dr. Peabody, welcome to the show.
Good to see everybody. Good to see you, Mr. Gilman. Good to see you, Mr. Seacon. And good to see Henry. Good to see you guys, man. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, it's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. When we leave from here, I don't know where you are going, but I won't tell you where I'm going. You know, I live in Florida, so 7 blocks from here is the beach and the waterfront. So, hey, there are tiki bars everywhere. This is the...
Y'all got it good over there.
It's all right. All the flavored drinks you want, of all kinds. After 5, 6 o'clock today, it's on. But, Doc, we are here. There are some disturbing news, especially the one at the hospital with this pregnant woman having a baby. It is one that for some reason it just cannot leave my mind. It's like it's urged. It's stuck to see somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter in labor, and the hospital denied her and she had to have a baby on the steps of the hospital. Thank God to good Samaritan women came together, held her arm, gave her some privacy while she had a baby, while they delivered the baby. Dr. Peabody, I never see anything like this.
Yeah, man, that's the country.
We can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
I said that's the country I'm talking about. You know, every time I talk on this show, the last time when we spoke about the finance minister taking funds from the COVID money, I made reference that these funds should have gone to help JFK or help the maternity center in Liberia. And it's sad. Our country healthcare is a mess. It's a complete mess. Previous generation, past generation, and current generation, they have done nothing to improve the healthcare condition of our country. The last time President Barker was there, his son or whoever, his nephew was opening a clinic in Monrovia. He was there dedicating his nephew clinic in Monrovia. If you recall, it was on a Sunday, and they were opening a hospital or clinic. It was President Barker relatives that were opening that clinic. You know, he's not placing any interest in the nation, only hospital. JFK is dilapidated. All right, people go to that hospital, can't afford $40 or $50. They will turn it around, they will end up dying or something like that. Or they go there and the government said, hey, we can't treat you, go somewhere else. So it's a disgrace, you know. And we're talking about the president condemning or making fun out of the protest yesterday, but anybody who talked and said that the protest was not a success, I don't know where they're coming from. Because the international media have it, the BBC had it, Al Jazeera had it, everybody had it. So are you saying that will carry a great image for your country? You know, for the fact, but our healthcare is bad. And to see a mother on the street giving birth is sending a very negative image of Liberia out there. Who want to go to Liberia to say I'm going to move to Liberia and you can't even get health care? I talked to a friend one time and he said to me, look, Peabody, the only hope we have in this place, the only health care we have in this place is the grace and mercy of God. He said, because if I fought up here at midnight, I'm dead. Because by the time I leave Brownsville to reach Maria, I'll be dead. You don't even have an emergency assistant that will take you to JFK. You don't have that. All right? People living all the time. Even Monrovia, I see them moving to Tomalin. But people living outside of Monrovia, other places, if you decide to go out of town and say, hey, I'm moving to live in Kagata, other places, you fall off your debt completely. But you sit there. That's what Liberian people want. That's why they keep doing the same thing over and over, voting for the same old people that will not do a thing for the country. You take an 80-year-old man and think he will be president of the country. What kind of good development you expect?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, someone wants to know what radio station we are on. Is 96.1 Truth FM. You can listen to the show on Myean. What are the frequencies in Liberia? People are asking.
96.1, 96.1.
96.1 Truth FM, 96.1. Let me welcome the Honorable Pewee. Sylvester K. Pewee. Mr. Pewee, what's that K for?
So the K is for
King.
No, for the mini is warrior, Korbau.
Oh, Korbau.
The person that can Congo and win wars.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very powerful name.
How you pronounce it?
I was named after my late grandfather, Korbau.
Korbau.
Yeah, you know, in Loma we refer to war as Kwe.
Right.
Korbau.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Congo and the rest of that. So it's an extraordinarily, traditionally powerful warrior name. So
ladies and gentlemen, you just got educated. When you see Pewee, you are looking at the Conqueror. Pewee, the Conqueror.
Yeah,
this right there. Sylvester the Conqueror Pewee. That's right. So don't mess with the guy. He will conquer you.
Yeah,
But
but
Pewee, welcome to the show.
yeah, thank you quickly. But I think I'll just make a short intro here, and I will say this: Monday went a little bit bad today because of the news about the pregnant woman story. And for our government to come and say they came to rescue, and we've seen those things happening in the country, it's very appalling and it's despicable. It's about time that we openly condemn the government, and this government is very insensitive. And I think I would not be surprised if there will be another huge protest against them, because if you were to, you giving Patrick Hunter and his generator $3,600 every month just for his generator, not for him. And then a poor woman with no money, that woman was at the mercy of the Almighty God today. The mercy of the Almighty God. That's a disgrace to a government that came to rescue. This is terrible. It's unacceptable. That's the Redemption Hospital. The Redemption Hospital, you know how populated the area is. You expect these are people that live in these are slum communities. The Nuku Town is right back there. You have Popo Beach right there. You have Point 4 right there. It's a community that the folks that most of those thousands of Liberians live in a more closet environment. You want to have that hospital, but you didn't stop the woman for anything because she didn't pay. We know, you and I know, across the world, in many African countries almost, when there's an emergency, you don't request money. You don't request money during emergency. You don't request money, but the Liberian people and the president need to stop to this nonsense. People are dying every day. Their story are not being told, gay man. The Liberian people need to stand up for that now. The people will have to bring a scenario up to protest this time around. And I think if he has not taken that, you don't need money for emergency. They don't know this. Who the medical doctor did this? They should be dismissed immediately. That is against the medical profession. That is against the oath they took to allow a pregnant woman outside because she didn't have the amount of money, which is around $2,500 Liberian, $10. This is unacceptable. And I think the Liberian Senate or legislature, the representative, I will call Desi Sibo personally. I will call Desi Sibo. I will ask him to raise this in plenary. It's a serious embarrassment. That is his district. Thank you for now.
It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. And, I grew up in Newtown. Redemption Hospital it's just a stone throw from my family people's place. I can just walk less than 3 minutes. I'm to Redemption Hospital. But here's the problem with the country. We are looking at Redemption Hospital. Redemption Hospital, and sometimes I ask myself, do we have planners? Do we have urban planners in Liberia? I wonder. We have the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. We have legies that takes care of the population. When Redemption Hospital was built initially, that place was built as a market in the 70s. William Richard Torgbean built it as a market, but the people of Newtown refused to go into that market. So when the coup happened, some of the PRC members like Swan Dixon, Larry Butter, what's the other guy named? J. Nicholas Portier, all of them were living in Newtown. So they decided to build a hospital. That's how Redemption Hospital came about. And that place that was built as a market was transformed into a hospital. But that was in the 80s. The population of Moruya has grown. Redemption Hospital is now only taking care of the people of Newtown. It's taking care of the people from Broadway, from Bomi County. It's taking care of the people from Corway, the whole of Bushwa Island, as far as Darknessville. Now, just imagine. A little hospital like that is taking care of almost 1 million people. What do you think is going to happen? That's a recipe for disaster. And sometimes I wonder, where is our planners? This is the time for people to put up their thinking up, look at the population of Monrovia and say, hey, look, we need a healthcare facility in the Gardersville area to take care of the population of Gardersville. We need another hospital somewhere in the Bishop Island area to take care of the rest of the people while redemption, to take the pressure of redemption. But that is not happening. You understand? That is not happening. That is the reason why when somebody is sick, by the time they leave their house to go to the hospital, they're dead.
Well, let me, if someone just sent me that the urban planner appointed by President Walker named Mark Jabate. Mark Jabate, if you are listening and you are an urban planner, you just got message, hotmail. I don't know what that means, but for a man to be called an urban planner,
wow.
If you are called an urban planner, I know several of these folks. That is not an appointed or joking position.
It is not.
It is a position that carries a lot of weight.
You see the kind of thing the government prioritizing.
That's your friend. What he need?
Somebody they may bringing nonsense to the president. Say English gentleman, and then they launch a T-shirt. They're taking the president time for this kind of a nonsense.
Wow,
kind of a nonsense. Because the president said he can speak beautiful English. People, this is his ambassador, his so-called ambassador to the president, presenting T-shirt to the president saying English gentleman, and the president is taking the taxpayer time. That very critical time that the presidency should be focused on governing the country. The president is taking time with a picture up with this nincompoop to call himself ambassador. It's very unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but that's the country that we are in. Dr. Peabody, you are in flight.
We shouldn't be surprised, Mr. Gilbert. We should not be surprised. The finance minister taking almost $40-something million and say he putting it to help people, to pay people, or to ensure that harmonization doesn't occur. You got all that money intended, it will raise basically because of the health sector, COVID. Why you can say, hey, let's spend $5 million to renovate Redemption Hospital, like it JFK $10 million. People don't care about that country. It's everybody rushing and putting themselves in front just for looking for blessing from the president. Everybody want to come on, do something. Oh yeah, the Papa, you know this one, Papa, just to gain favor. Everybody ready to gain favor, but with a given, I don't want to forget, we still taking the July 26th fund to help the guys in Liberia.
Please go out. There you go.
Yeah, we're asking our family.
It's next week, right?
Yeah, next week.
Every Saturday.
I'm on Ghana. Target 1,000, right?
We want to hit at least 1,005 or more, but we should be at around $800 now. $800.
Okay, that's good. Good.
Every nickel, every dime will help.
Yeah, anything will help.
Guys, let's help our folks. For Cash App, the $ TCA, like in the closing argument. 2,500. That's all it is. I didn't say send me 2,500. That's the number. That's the number there. TCA. So the $ for TCA. When you go to that, you will see Dr. Peabody's. Yeah, you will see his link. Everything that goes to him, it goes into the part that he recognizes it, and we thank those who are helping, and make sure that you do your recording. Wherever you send, please send it to him. Send the information to him. Even if you send something to Liberia, make sure that he gets the information so we can give you credit properly. Honorable Pewee, this one is in your purview, so you're the expert on it. We got information here and a video of our Liberian brothers and sisters being stuck in Brussels. The flight was canceled, and the airline put them, basically like, I mean, it is so disgraceful. Put them in a waiting area, like they say, open air place, and get them camp beds and say they can sleep. But then they took the Americans and the European citizens to a hotel. Myean, if you have that video, if you can cue it for us, this is what we are saying, Honorable. If you treat your own citizens like they did this woman to have baby on the streets, how do you expect foreigners to treat your people? You have no value, no premium on the lives of your own people. How do you then go to a foreign country and tell them, say, don't mess with our folks? Your take on this issue. Okay, there you go. Let's listen to the tip, and then you can comment. Dr. Peabody, you can also.
So this is where Brussels Airlines brought us to sleep in this open air. Yeah. I think this is where people come to pray. And here's the bathroom. They said we'll take shower only for 2 hours, the general bathroom. Yeah. And then this is the place that they brought us. In this open air, can you imagine? Our flights were canceled, not our fault, but they brought us here and they took away those who had American passport, British passport, and the Asian passport to a comfortable hotel. And we Liberians were brought here to sleep. Okay, so this is the bed they said they brought for us to sleep. Can you imagine? This is the bed they said they brought for us to sleep. This is the bed they brought for us to sleep in this open air.
This is the 5-star hotel.
I'm going to be.
Please take the video down. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to be very honest here on this one. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they have to find themselves. I was in similar conditions at that Brussels International Airport on 3 occasions now. I can recall 3 occasions, similar condition, the same spot she took the video. Now, the first time, I was a student here in the U.S. coming from Arizona, going back to visit. I think I was going back to do my voter registration for the 2017 elections, flying from Sky Harbor Airport, New York, Brussels, and then on our way to RIA, we encountered some technical problem, they said, with the plane that we couldn't leave. So that time, they took up the same area, and it's not only Liberians. Let me correct this. I think this is not only Liberians. Now, and the reason behind this is not only Liberians. Now, the only passenger that will be allowed to leave, and Brussels Airlines will take all the other passengers to a hotel, right? But those that don't have visa to enter into Brussels wouldn't be allowed to exit the airport. That's the reason actually. They're not treating Liberian bad. Now, so there are other Africans all on board that got green card, or maybe green card, or just came on visiting visa here in the U.S. returning home. So those that don't have Brussels visa or Belgian visa wouldn't be allowed to exit the airport. So that's the reason why they will keep them in the airport until tomorrow before they will take their flight. Their flight will be the next day. The second time it happened to me quickly, but then I was already in the government. That was in 2018, returning from the United Nations General Assembly. But fortunately for me, I had diplomatic passport. So I will among those Americans they took to the hotel. So I went to a hotel and slept to the hotel. Next we took the flight. So this is not actually a game, and this is not actually Liberians.
Let me push back on that, because when I was in similar situation, I didn't have a visa. All I had was my American passport, and And I didn't have a visa.
Let me remind you. Let me remind you that Americans don't need visa to enter Brussels.
No, you don't need visa.
That's what I'm saying.
But I want to remind you on that. That's not what you to say that. I'm not. Listen, those you see over there don't have visa to enter Brussels.
But I didn't have a visa either.
You have American passport.
Yeah. So
you go.
You don't have American passport, but
you don't need a visa.
She said they took the Americans. I can't give me 1 minute. She said they took the American. Go back to the video. They took the American, the British.
That's correct.
American and the British got British passport. They don't need visa in Belgium
to go to Brussels.
This is what I'm saying. Now you're getting. We are saying the same thing.
No, we're not saying the same thing.
No. The reason I'm saying this, you're missing the point though. Why isn't our government, after we have gone through the year in and year out, why our government is not addressing this particular issue?
How do you address that? Your visa, your passport is not strong. You don't have visa free report. You can't address that. Listen, no European country will ever give you visa free, or American country will give you visa free. That will never happen.
For Sylvester, don't even say Liberia. Say no European country will even get African visa free membership to the country.
You know what happened? Everybody want to come there.
Everybody leave and don't go back. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing the American government is talking about now.
Yeah.
The MSA educating Liberians on. People enter the go for a 1 month visit, they stay and don't come back. I mean, but let me be honest here. I think so far the airline gave them a bed to sleep.
They'll give them. I've slept there before. They'll give you bed. They'll give you blanket, and they will give you. They will give you $40 meal voucher.
Yeah.
$40 meal voucher, and then in the morning also they will come and give them something to go get breakfast. The airport. Yeah. I'm not a population for Brussels, but Brussels will do a very good job. And the reason why Brussels is doing that, those people don't have visa to exit the airport.
Yeah.
That's not the reason. But all of those like that, some of the Liberians now in hotels in Brussels on that flight that got American passport or British passport, they let them or they put them on the bus and they took them to a very good hotel. There's a lot of wonderful.
Let me say that. But it is the same thing that Air Morag does.
Yeah.
Whenever you travel through Air Morag, you get to Casablanca.
Government did nothing.
Okay, so you want to tell me Americans can't go to Europe and overstay?
I mean, you go
that visa free.
With visa free stay, you can go there and stay there for at least a month or 3 months.
No, it's 3 months. Then for that again, if you want to stay more, you update something, you stay more.
Let me say them again. After the election, when the election was held, when Tomalin and myself came back, we got in Brussels, our flight got canceled. And Tomalin went to London, and by the time I got to the line, they said that all the flight was full. And they put me in a hotel in Brussels. I slept in Brussels. And they even gave me some refunds back on my card. I slept in a hotel. I ate free, nice meal. Came back to the airport in the morning. When I got back to the U.S., they gave me some money back.
Yeah. So that flight was on, and I mean, they took us to one of the best hotels.
Yeah.
There's a wine and everything. They will drink wine and drink medicine.
The Honorable Judge told you our passport is basically worth nothing to these folks.
No, not on our passport. There's no.
Listen. I can't
passport.
No, listen.
Yeah, is the issue.
One minute. Listen, Dad, when we are talking about Liberian issues, I'm not going to talk about Sierra Leone and Guinea. That their stuff. I'm talking about Liberian. What can we do? Our government can do to gather some respect. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Seaton.
Here's the thing. The reason why an American with an American passport will not go to Europe to stay, because the same economic condition that is in America is also in Europe. As a matter of fact, the United States enjoy the highest standard of living on earth than Europe, okay, in terms of development. Now, the reason why they can allow people from developing countries to give them visa to go into Europe, because most people come to the West because of economic reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So there's a high probability that if they give somebody from Africa and then he goes to Europe and then his flight gets canceled, they say, well, well, going to a hotel and this and that. That person may likely come out to fly to America. You see that? So that's some of the issue. Now, on your question, I think what needs to be done is for our government to engage the airlines. The Liberian citizens are giving the airlines a good chunk of money, and they should be treated immediately. It is our government responsibility to engage the airlines to ensure that when these kind of things happen, which will eventually happen, provide some kind of accommodation that is decent for our people. That is something that they can do. But again, the airline is running a business. The airline is running a business. They can do it or they cannot do it.
Can I come in? Let me put it so you could, Mr. Sida. How do you expect them to accommodate better accommodation than that one? How do you expect if they don't have visa to exit the airport?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good question. That's a good question. Because they don't have visa.
They're waiting to do it. The airline, Brussels airline, is waiting to do it. I mean, I slept in one of the best hotels in Brussels before on the same issue. They took us there. They're waiting to do it. And the reason why they allow me out because I was carrying diplomatic passport.
Diplomatic passport. You see, that's a distinction right there.
That's the reason. I'm looking for solution. This is why we are here to proffer.
Hey, well, now Brussels airline allow me out. When I raised it quickly, when I raised the issue that day that I couldn't be there again, then the guys when they stopped hitting, okay, then they went to they took it to the immigration, they went through it. They said, okay, yeah, it's a diplomatic passport. Because the German wanted to see, because they know we carry no kind of passport, you are question of how long you come. And I had to allow me. And they processed me. I went to the hotel. And the next day we all came and we're going to fly now back into Liberia. It's unfortunate.
Let me say this. There's nothing the Liberian government can do. There's nothing anybody can do. The fact here is, if these people were just left there without food, without a bed, to lay their head, without anything, then you would say they neglected them and just left them there. But there's nothing for us to start tailgating and talking all
absolutely.
There's nothing. Russia did what they could do. They gave you bed. They gave you food to eat. They show you 1 or 2 bathrooms that you can use. What more can they do? You don't have visa to go in the people's country. There's nothing they can do. So why are you blaming them? Why are people going all over internet planes and videos?
Everybody won't play the
They didn't neglect
they gave it everybody with a voucher. They gave me a voucher of 40 euro. 40
yes.
euro.
Go ahead.
I have a solution.
And what is the solution?
I would suggest to our government, we may not have the strongest passport, but we got strong diplomacy, right? We have the strength. Why wouldn't we work something out with the airlines and say we are not asking our citizens to depart the airport, but they have a hotel on the premises, right? So why don't we make an arrangement that maybe these airlines should make us to purchase insurance, okay, travel insurance.
Let me push back. Let me push back against that.
The airport, you have to get outside.
Mr. Gayman, let me push back against the travel insurance. Most of the time when you are purchasing tickets, there's an option there for you to buy insurance.
That's correct.
And most of us, because we don't want to spend that extra bucks, we don't buy the insurance. So they gave you the option. But because we don't want to spend the extra money, you understand? Yeah.
That insurance I buy every time I'm going for an emergency, right? If something happens to me, I get on the next available flight, whether it is the same flight I wear or not. So I understand.
It is very important to have that.
But I'm thinking if our government can work something out with the airlines, with these folks, that when these things happen, okay, we want to purchase an extra insurance that will guarantee our people will have a suitable place on the airport, not outside the airport. I understand what he's saying. To go on the airport, you have to exit immigration and all of that stuff. But it can be worked out. It has never been worked out. It has never been tried, so you never know.
And Mr. Gayman, You just gave if Liberians are smart, you just give somebody a business idea. You just give somebody a business idea. Or Liberian can get insurance company in Liberia, work with the airline, tell the airline, say anytime you're selling your ticket, make sure it says that the body's insurance, so that when these kind of things happen, and then we accommodate them, we will come in. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good idea.
I also know that.
Yeah, go ahead, doctor. Go ahead. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Issue here is not insurance. The issue here is visa. You do not have visa to go to the next man country.
We understand. The reason I'm saying this, right? Honorable Pewee, maybe we're way before your time, but when my uncle Tom we were coming to the United States during their time, the Liberian government would make you pay, he said, $500 at the time, $500 US into the revenue account in Liberia. If there are any emergencies or any deportation or anything else, the government will actually step in. So anybody who traveled in the 60s and 70s, they say they paid that $500 into the revenue account. So the government did have something like that settled with the international community that, listen, if our citizen comes, anything happens, the government is here. We can do this, we can do that. This is what I'm saying. Because it's not happening doesn't mean we can't ask. If I put a man like you in charge and say, you know what, we're going to go from country to country and we're going to work something out, you never try, you never know. This is what I'm saying.
But given the process here is that those that you just referenced just now, when they were leaving Liberia, they had visa. This issue to leave Liberia to come into the country, whichever country they were moving into. But this issue that they're playing, that was meant to convey these passengers, both Liberians, mixed of nationalities, if you will. The plane developed some technical problem that it was not safe to fly. And Brussels Airlines got one of the, they're part of the Sky Alliance, right? They are part of the Sky Alliance. They take into consideration safety a lot. So Brussels Airlines wouldn't put a plane in the air when the engineer say that it's not safe to go. No, it's not an airline that would do. So what the airline decided to do, all of the passengers, hopefully around maybe 250 or a little more, say, okay, it's about time. And the airline itself got very good insurance for those kind of unforeseen circumstances, if you will. They will have to move all of those people to hotel to get them what we call wonderful accommodation. It is what they intended to do. But unfortunately, there will be some passenger that will not
from Foya. They don't want to
passenger from what's all from compound number 4. Compound number 4.
They don't want to go back there.
So they don't have visa. So how do you do it? So what they did now, it's on the airline. When you have gate T coming from the other side of Brussels Airline when you enter, right?
Right.
There's another area up on almost like the tail floor.
That's correct.
As she said, that place is not meant. It's not meant for people to go and pray. It is meant for these kind of unforeseen circumstances. And passenger with no visa to enter Brussels and Belgium, then they will keep them there, get them some. Those bomb bag you saw will come with some blanket. Then they'll give you soap. They will give you toothpaste. They'll give you toothbrush. And then they set the shower both for male and female, 2 persons at the same time. You don't have to see it's the other petition, and you're going to have a warm or cold shower, if you will. If it is summer, you have a cold shower. If it is winter, you have a warm shower preparing for your flight. And then they give you voucher, and the voucher they give you the next morning. They give you something, and then you prepare and you get ready to get on the flight. Immediately when you and here's what Brussels can do. Immediately when you get on the flight now, because they believe that they delay you people, they will make sure the pilot will make sure you get a very smooth flight. Then they will serve more food on the plane. They give you more wine on the plane.
Okay, next time I'm gonna get my wine.
So actually, next week Thursday, I'll be in Brussels. Next Friday, I'll be there for the Liberian Independence Day celebration in Antwerp, Belgium.
Are you on Brussels Airlines?
Yes, I'm flying with United.
Oh, you're United. Okay, but yeah, United is in line with Brussels also.
They part of Star Line, but
the partnership.
If Brussels did not make Brussels made reasonable accommodation for those people, reasonable. There's nothing else anybody could have done. The embassy went there and met with them. Embassy staff went and met with them. I mean, you only need somewhere to lay your head. All right. If any other thing Brussels could have done, right? They could have said, you know what? We'll put you on another flight that will take you to maybe Morocco. I think Morocco is part of the Star Line. Maybe we'll put you on Morocco and Morocco take you to Monrovia. That's the only other thing Brussels could have done, send you to maybe another flight to another country. A few years ago, I went to Liberia. I got stranded in Freetown. That's when they were constructing the airport. I stayed in Freetown for 3 days, from Sunday, and we left on Wednesday. And Brussels put us in a hotel. I was there for 3 days. Nice hotel, B2 Money Hotel.
You couldn't drive?
But you know what happened? They gave me my $1,300 back. They put it back. So I had a free trip. I stayed in free hotel, ate good, and
Brussels is good airline.
I didn't pay nothing for the trip. So Brussels is very good.
No,
great. Okay.
Beyond Brussels being, and let me say this: Brussels being all doing all of the terrible time of our country, right? When there was no airline going to come to Liberia, Brussels airline, but Brussels, they are a true partner to Liberia, and Liberians should stop doing it. Not everything we do trying to do propaganda.
Well,
the Popo
I have a different take, but we'll go there. Let's go to something good the president did, and we had to praise him for it. Finally, in my lifetime, I don't know if you have ever heard a president of the Republic of Liberia vetoing a bill. What President Waka just did. And I'm going to read the final statement in that bill. In his letter. He said, Madam President pro tempore, as you are aware, Article 35 of the Constitution of Liberia grants the president the authority to approve or disapprove a bill that is laid before the president. Therefore, given the reasons mentioned supra, and by the virtue of the authority in me vested under Article 35 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, I hereby veto the bill, 2 bills, and return them to allow the National Legislature to kindly take a look to correct all the necessary loopholes in the interest of the country and its people. Once again, I express sincere thanks to you for your continued cooperation and support. And this is from our president. So I am saying the 2 bills that he vetoed are Bill number 4, and the nomenclature is Liberia Ports Authority. Bill number 5, Liberia Sea and Inland Port Declaration, Decentralization and Modernization Act. Those are the 2 bills that passed both houses and made it on the desk of the president. And there have been a lot of disturbing comments, concerns from the folks, including everybody on here, especially Tomalin George, when he brought it up to our attention. The president had done the right thing and finally vetoed this bill as counterproductive to the success of our nation. Honorable Pewee, this is your territory. The president, I've never seen Liberian president veto any bill. This is my first.
It happened during Madame Salif. I think Mr. Taylor did some before. Madame Salif did some, lot more of them, and sometimes they. But yes, why? And I think I like what they put the president's communication to the president pro tempore of the Liberian Senate.
I think the president tried to let the president pro tempore and the honorable librarian send the entire legislature. I think the letter is exposing that they don't know what they are doing, basically, or either they are deliberately doing it. Now, why would you go and pass a law and try to usurp the function of the executive when the constitution of the country clearly indicated that there will be check and balances, or in other words, separation of power? The most important aspect here is you're trying to change the law, amend the law of the National Port Authority. And then you say those ports, individual port now will have 9 board members. You are not the one to determine that. It's a violation of the Constitution of the Republic. And that's what the president tried to remind them. And it's unfortunate, again, and most of the reasons folks are trying to do this is for political aggrandizement, to ensure that their surrogates or their cronies and the rest of the other folks that are associated to these officials or these selfish Liberian politicians are given jobs. And then where they will bring business interests to siphon money to their personal gains. And that's just the intent of this bill. I don't know if they will have the two-tier to override the president's veto, because the Constitution gave them that power. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. Or are they going to listen to the president? Yes, I think that they want to be in the good grace of the president. So I don't believe this pro-tier will want to fight it up. So the Liberian Senate will find means to do some reconciliation on this bill to see where they can fit into what the president wanted to do. But it's a bad bill for AA totality. What's the essence of trying to remove the total authority from the National Port Authority to try to break them and make all of the ports autonomous on their own? You know, those kind of a personal autonomy on individual ports. Why it does is that it will expose some of the port of just being just Dortmund. For instance, Maryland. What's going to happen in Maryland? The port of Maryland, the port of Greenville. The only other port that may even be trying to be vibrant will be the port of Buchanan because of ArcelorMittal operations and other basic things. But I hope the country, I wish the country all of the good stuff, but it's a good thing for the president to veto. And I hope that those men and women should beat sense in their own head to reconsider their decision.
Great, guys. Those of you who think we never say anything good about the president, we have always told you, if something good happens, there's no way you can ignore it. This is a good thing that the president did. He listened to the people, and hopefully he sticks to his guns. We are not talking about the bill going back to the Senate and nibbling around the edges and then passes at midnight, and then we are right back where we are. But this is a good attempt for the president and our nation, and this is a good thing. We will go to Dr. Peabody, make a quick comment, then we'll start taking some calls.
Mr. Gilman, you know, in the first place, that bill was a stupid bill. And I'm glad that the president, I mean, that's some of the greed we're talking about. They greedy, they're only concerned about themselves. And then they just want the Liberian people to be the victim and rush. They could have taken time to do this. They could have, like Pewee said, they could have, you know, taken the time to structure that bill very well in a way, but it's all about them getting the cut. You only want her cut. Dylan got cut in that bill too. And a few other people got cut in this thing. And that's why they were rushing to do it. You see? Because for the president of veto it means that a lot of deep messes in it, and that would have been a disgrace. And I think I applaud the president for doing that. He did. That was excellent for the president to do. These folks were only rushing for their own gain, their own selfish gain. That's all they were doing it for, rushing and doing stuff like that. And you call yourself lawmaker, you can't even follow the law. I think the president took his stand. I think that was excellent. I commend him for doing that.
Thank you. Let's go to the call. The day after this event, we discussed many issues, and we got more to discuss. But let's go to the call. Let's hear you. Let us hear from you. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts about your country? Let's
Okay,
go.
so the lines is activated 0777 649986. If you've been finding us back home, 0777 You can also call us on +231 777 to be a part of the closing argument show tonight. 0777 649986. If you are outside of Liberia, you can call us on WhatsApp +231 777 So, Mr. Gamer, you can go ahead as we await because people we have some bad weather here, so it seems to be like the network is terrible here. But anyway, you can put your calls in 0777 So you can go ahead when we get any call, I'll let you know.
Honorable Pewee, on the front page of the Liberian Investigator, it says here Liberians outraged over hospital fees. And it reads, Bangabong County, Liberians are lashing out at the government.
Yeah, Mr. Gamer, we have someone on the line here. Hello, caller, Nima, where do you call from?
Well, my name is Levi Cindy, and this evening I'm fooling from Chicken Soup Factory.
Okay, make your contribution.
Well, thank you. I'm listening to Mr. Gilmer talking about government putting a fee in place for his citizens that are traveling on Brussels to arrange for them. But what kind of government will do it? Is that government? The government ahead of Donald Trump coming to deport of people and celebrating that. Maybe that different government in the near future, but I think that they open because the government cares for Liberian people. In my mind, so what he says is a good plan for them. For we know the government will say they need. Then they raise that one there. Joseph Baga sitting here or the 12 years can finish because they say they're going for 12 years. So that was on my mind this evening.
Okay, so before you leave the line, are you still there?
I'm there on the line.
If you look at yesterday's protest, was it successful or not?
Well, in my mind, you guys, they are heroes. They score 100. It was not because of crowd. People went there to protest what is happening in the country. I listened to a lot of men who they plenty of money group who say he was selling drugs. They're cracks. Because that was what the police director said before that people were going to be upon the protester, is that what they showed yesterday. And a lot of men who said Joseph Baga can't lie. You know, all those things that jail red trade, that the people, like few people, they plenty of money, people that they want that their team and were reading their posters and seeing what they were reading, so they were clapping for that. But I think that fake the protesters did an excellent job. I'm going to applaud them. They did well.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can put your calls in 0777 649986 +231 0777 649986. So Mr. Gimme, you can go ahead. We still with calls here.
Yeah, this particular article is very critical, and I will tell you why. It said people are lashing out after government imposed mandatory fees on public health services around the country, accusing officials of deepening hardship in a country already buckling under the economic constraints. Under a new directive announced by the Ministry of Health on July 15, patients seeking care at public facilities must now pay 2,000 Liberian dollars for ambulance services, $1,500 for birth certificate for teenagers and adults.
So we have someone on the line, Mr. Gimme.
Okay, go
Hello,
ahead.
caller. Where do you call from? Yeah, what's your name and where do you call from?
My name is Eddie, and I'm visual interpreter from Garguah.
Okay, make your point.
I do appreciate your panelists for the topic on discussion. You know, thank you people for taking off your time coming on the radio to enlighten the minds of the Liberians. But you know, I always say this, right? But this government coming to corrupt this Republican family, it was not a surprise. You know, it will be surprise to those who believe that this man, when it comes to power, they are going to enjoy. Just for the fact that I'm not surprised this man told us that he squandered opportunity within 2 years. Oh, besides this, the man from a childhood day, scheme a fuller man by giving a good 10 carton or salt, therefore you get something. So if the man who squandered an opportunity from you yesterday, which you should have benefit, steal from you, and then later on come and then contest for a presidency, what I think you will do for you? The same stealing that carry on, it is the same thing that you will practice, and that is why we've done nothing within the 6 years. So thank you, people. I appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
Okay, so what's your view on yesterday's protest?
So yesterday, I believe that, the people, they were standing up, and, this government is for me, I consider this government to be an imperialistic government, because for the fact that people will step up for their right, and then you brutalize them like the way they did in just kill people free, and at the end of the day, get them 5,000. I mean, there's, this government for me, I don't give relevance to this government really. Yeah. So I think those who protested yesterday, it is their right. And I think these are things that we should continue to do, hold the government feet to the fire, so that they can be able to deliver, so that the citizens can benefit. But for now, for me, I don't see anything good that this government can do for us.
Okay, thank you. 077764986 plus 2310777649986. So, Mr. Kebe, you can go ahead as we stay away.
Yeah, Dr. Peabody, they also charging $500 Liberian per night for hospital admission. The new fee are set to take effect August 1st. Authorities say the charges are necessary to keep the hospitals and clinics afloat following a massive cut in foreign aid. In May 2025, the Trump administration canceled. So now, everything now they want to do, you blame it on Trump. So, Dr. Peabody, this is massive. I'm saying this because a few days ago, the Minister of Finance said he was going to try to do all he can to knock on heaven's door to raise $1 billion. These are some of the mechanisms they put in place to raise money. They are charging an astronomical fee to people who are unemployed. There's no employment. There's no opportunity for the private sector. And you are charging them. I mean, this is a lot of money to all the private hospitals and clinics.
Oh, Mr. Gilman, let me say this. I don't think Liberian people mind paying that money if they will get the service. I think if Liberian people will get the service, they would not mind paying it, but they don't have the service. We don't even have a good healthcare something in place already, and you're charging these people money that you will not be able to provide the service for. Our hospitals are all mess. You don't even have enough healthcare worker at least paid, even after all these millions of dollars you have saving them from COVID. You think you say, "Oh, we'll increase our healthcare worker pay"? No. You don't even have the service to provide the people. It's just robbing the Liberian people. So you're not providing any service for them. If you have the service in place, we all know healthcare is very expensive around the world. Then you say, yes, it makes sense. But you don't got no healthcare. You don't got no service in place for people to pay the money. They can't even get the treatment they need. People still got to go across the road, JFK, to buy medicine. They still got to bring the relative in to
yeah. So, Mr. Kim, that we have someone on the line. We just take this person quick. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Thank you. My name is Afro Matali. I'm joining from Maggie County.
Okay. How's Maggie B?
Maggie is okay. The water is cool and calm. The airport is very lively. All the lights are all on. And we're driving the next movie for only 5 of us.
Okay. So make your contribution tonight.
What we're saying, the flight from Brussels to Liberia, usually the point did not allow the new process from America to Liberia. The whole flight also fly from Europe to America. So when that thing happening, we don't want for people to keep saying that our people stuff. It can happen. So we need to pray for our Liberians that you stop in Brussels. And the God will keep them through in the next whatever within our next life, so they can get on board. So not next join.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So you can go ahead, Mr. Gilman.
Yes. So, Honorable Pewee, these are the fees that they are now charging, and everything is now being blamed on Trump. Trump cut aid, so they are passing it down to the folks. But for people who, like this person said, Liberians say the government response has added insult to injury, especially with the inflation soaring, unemployment rampant, and poverty deepening. People cannot afford to go to a regular health public clinic with this amount of fee. They are talking about $2,000 for ambulance services, $1,500 for birth certificate, $500 per night. These are Liberian dollars now at night. So if you were going to the hospital, these are the fees that you should have ready to get service. Honorable Pewee, what do you think? What can Liberians do to remedy this?
Nothing the Liberian can do. The government should remedy this for the Liberian people. And it's on the basis of this, Mr. Boaka and his Unity Party got elected. And they committed. They said things were now good. And during the weird time, it was never this way. Right? And that's what the Access U.S. report is saying. Watching the news this morning, and the report is saying inflation is soaring up there, and you committed, and things are just, it's going from bad to worse, or borrow for the Congo West side, if you will. But the best thing any responsible government can do is to do kind of an intervention at this critical junction for its citizens. And that's what we expect the government to come in, and by doing this, you come with and you do some critical interventions in other areas. And those interventions are meant to subsidize major, for instance, you pump some money into the health sector. And by doing that, most of the clinics that even private hospitals and other things should receive some subsidies from the government. And by that, it will reduce the way the price of the citizens in terms of providing health services to them. So that's the only way we can go about it. How with the government boasted last time saying they collected more revenue, but now it's getting clearer by the day that there's a budget shortfall. There is a budget shortfall this year. I don't know if what they're going to do next year, if you will. The minister said the Minister of Finance said, I think we need Guar interventions to do that and the rest of that. So I don't see things changing. Unfortunately, the first year I was one of those that defended the president. I said we should give him some time. It was so early, and I refused to be unreasonable in terms of criticizing him at that time, the first 6 months or a year. But for now, and situation are still almost the same, and there's no innovations. They're not thinking outside the box. What are those tactical engagements that you have to deploy in terms of changing the policy prescriptions? Because to change the policy prescription, you have to be realistic in terms of what you want to do. You have to take some measures, some austerity measures that will be meant to cutting waste, reducing fraud, reducing abuse, and reducing cutting on to the government bureaucracy, because the chain of bureaucracy is huge. How do we narrow in on the chain of bureaucracy to reduce the plenty recurrent spending, if you will? So these are different things we can do as policy makers, as policy thinkers, and that we can move in to save costs and do some critical interventions in those critical areas. And the critical area now we want to think of is the health sector, the educational sector, if you will. So it is paramount that the president will have to, the president, those that are in the orbit of the president are not advising him openly, right? I mean, they're not doing well for him. Those in the president orbit trying to keep him into the box there and present to him what they believe he wants to see, and he himself will allow himself to, and it is a difficult thing. The age the president is in 81, 82 years
It's just going to be by the grace of God, the country is moving. You have people with different agendas and that are moving around the president. This group will go in the morning and see him. When they in there, or the other people, leave, the next group will go and try to undo what the other group. So the president is not, we're in a problem. The president is not thinking independent of himself. There's a lot of manipulations, and those manipulations are not in the interest of the Liberian people. And that's the terrible thing we have currently unfolding in the country. And lastly, the Minister of Finance that should be more or less very innovative in doing his job. I don't know if he got the support, or I don't know if he had lost track, because he always calling on God intervention. I don't know if God going to come and change it on his behalf or so. But I sense problem. The year is going to end this way, and we're going to get into the next year. He trying not to say next year God will guide us to get $1 billion. I don't know how he's going to do with us out of innovations. And I thought if he would be the one to not in the United Party government, I don't know who they're going to bring that want to help them. Because when he came in, one of those persons, I said that I think he's the best pick for the job, because he served the Budget Bureau as Budget Director. He served as Minister of Finance. He served as Minister of Foreign Affairs. He worked before the Central Bank of Liberia, or the National Bank, if you will. If he will come and struggle, because you got the Buddha pulpit to do what you ought to do, and he's struggling, then I don't know. I don't know if it is lack of new innovation, or is he working on past glory. I don't think so. I don't know what's the problem. You have to be very innovative in terms of bringing to bear different kind of expertise. And this is about time you invite the mindset of different talents to change the situation in the country. Other than that, we are done.
Mr. Sita, here we are, and I want to quote, let me preface the president of the University of Liberia. She says, as much as I want to do, my recurring expenses here, expenditure is 90%. And she says, very similar to the national situation, she said 90% of my budget goes to paying staff. So whatever it is that she wanted to do, she can't do it. Same thing, even if Joseph Walker wanted to do all of these things we say he should do, with 90% of your total budget going to pay yourself and your friends and people else, what else can he do? There's only 10%. Absolutely nothing he could do without, like on a Pewee say, unless there's something drastic. Other than that, here we are.
Thank you very much. The issue of budget shortfall, inadequate budgetary allocation did not start under Joseph Walker. I remember when Amara Connor was finance minister, he came to the States, and a journalist was, one of our former colleagues, the late Herbert Johnson, peace be to the artist, was ill, and we wanted some kind of a help to have him taken back to Liberia. And he made a statement. He said, look, he was in Philadelphia. He said, look, most of government expenses, most of the whole budget, about 70% of the government budget goes to government operations. There was a huge uproar in Liberia. Why he had to say that? And it's a similar situation that is happening right now in Liberia. The only way we can get ourselves out of this situation is to increase our revenue intake. And how do we increase our revenue intake? We cut down the fraud, waste, and abuse. We cut down the fraud, the waste, and abuse. That's the only way we can improve our budgetary intake. Liberia is a sovereign country. Liberia do not need to be depending on another country for its sustenance. This what's the stuff name? This mentality, every day somebody must give you. The dependency syndrome. We have to stop that. We have to stop that and increase our budgetary and increase our revenue intake by cutting down the fraud, waste, and abuse. Waste and abuse. That's the only way. That's the only way we can properly fund education. That's the only way we can properly fund healthcare, which are critical areas. There's the only way we can fund telecommunication. That's the only way we can fund road construction, build infrastructures, improve the economy. We have to cut down the fraud, waste, and abuse. Take, for example, you have a lawmaker. He gets almost $3,000 in scratch card. He gets almost $5,000 in gas leak. For what? Somebody buy their cell phone, then the government will give them money to get scratch card, to make a score. What type of country is that? What type of country is that everybody gets hand out? And how do you improve the economy? How do you improve service delivery? When there are fraud, waste, and abuse that cannot be curtailed. So it is sad that these people are not thinking outside of the box. These people are not willing to make the hard choices, make the hard decision. These people are not willing to institute austerity measures to improve our revenue intake. And we just spending. We are in trouble. That's why you see the University of Liberia is being poorly funded. That's why you see our healthcare delivery system is in shambles. And other areas are in shambles because the government does not have the money to fund these critical institutions and areas. Why? Because of fraud, waste, and abuse. That's the problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, we want to make the 26th next week good for our staff on the ground, the young men and women that are going in the rain to bring us the news. Please send some contribution to our Cash App, the $ TCA, like in the closing argument, 2500. Cash App, $ TCA. 2500. And if you're using Zelle, area code 856-676-5136. This is a way of us saying thank you to the folks on the ground. It's almost 8 o'clock here. It is 12 midnight in Liberia. They are still in the studio, making sure that you are heard, that the show is carried out. Most of them live about an hour away from the studio. By the time they get home, it'll be 1 o'clock a.m. And they have to turn right around and come back tomorrow morning. They don't have cars. They take keke or they take bikes. At night in Liberia. That's a lot of sacrifices, my friend. I think they deserve a nice 26 gifts. Please help us out. For the common good, the country is hard. Very hard. This morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't know what the people thinking in Buchanan. 5 o'clock, the call just kept coming in. Don't forget 26, don't forget 26, 26, 26, 26. And I'm telling them, do you know what time it is here? Not because you're walking around 10 o'clock in the morning in Buchanan, means it's 10 o'clock here. So that tells you how desperate things are on the ground. If we can do good by these young folks, we will appreciate it very, very, very much. Next week, we are going to have some guests. We're going to have Honorable Nyenwolo and Mr. Carter. These are financial experts. They will be here to go over some serious financial issues about Liberia. There are some serious questions that we all need to know about, and they're going to be here. They're going to be here to talk about finance. Seriously, things that the common person doesn't talk about. It says here, today we confront the pressing and troubling question: how do we, as a society, intend to win the war against corruption when it appears that some of our highest ranking officials, such as representatives, senators, are embroiled in practices that undermine our trust and justice. This is not merely a question of individual integrity, but rather a broader challenge that strikes the heart of our democracy, our values, and governance. Corruption. And they got some questions here. The Liberian government borrowed a lot of money, and they don't want to talk about it. So next week, they said the diaspora last year we gave $700 million to the government of Liberia.
To the government or to the people of Liberia?
Well, it is. We are helping the government.
Yeah, but we give it to the people of Liberia.
That's correct.
You are right. You are right. It goes indirectly to the government. That's true.
The government is counting it on their books. This is what we are saying here. The government is counting it on their books. So they are talking about the public debt. Total public debt stock. The end of 2024, Liberia total debt is $2.588 billion, of which $1.7 billion, or 41.39%, constitutes domestic debt. Domestic debt, the money we owe our local entities, $1.516 billion. We're talking about some serious money here. So why aren't they talking about reducing our debt? Instead, we keep spending and spending and spending, and they create these artificial smoke screens. Can we mute, please? I'm hearing some children talk. So we are hearing all this, lots of money we're talking about here, that Liberia keep borrowing. $700 million remittances, a total debt of $2.3 billion. And then 2024, it went from $2.3 billion in 2023 to $2.5 billion in 2024. A difference of $200 million borrowed. $200 million borrowed just in 1 year. What happened to that money? What did it do with the money? That's a lot of money. Pewee, that's a lot of money.
Lot of money, and this now the stewardship, the only thing we can do now is, so we will always come with different kind of a commentary. Say this today, say this tomorrow, but I think they will incur the wrath of the voters come 2029. That's going to be the only punishment for now. But I think the stewardship is poor, mismanagement, corruption, and that's just what those people went for. Imagine you giving position to people on the basis of them supporting your campaign, What you expect for them? You expect them to go and just loot the resources. There's no proper accountability in a lot of government institutions because there are certain even government institutions that are not even remitting anything to the national budget.
Yes,
and the president is not paying attention to that, and that's unfortunate. It's part of the reason why the current finance minister is struggling, and probably he doesn't have the wherewithal to push more or less and get the things done or change. I don't know if he doesn't have the listening ear of the president, and if you are the finance minister, you don't have the listening ear of the president. It's troubling. There's no need being on the job. Then leave. Because the finance minister should have the listening ear of the president all day, all time, all night, all morning, right? You have to talk to the president as to what we want to do, and another thing, you are the principal, if not the shock absorber in administration. You are the person that the president should listen to because you're the minister of finance and development planning. You plan, you execute all those things. You have to find the money to have these things done. So, but the amount of money we've taken out, borrowing from here, there, and the countries, I don't know, with the money given. So I think someone is asking me to ask you, where's the money going?
You the expert, you being government, you know how you're doing there. I never work in government, never work in Liberia.
But you do understand how the public sector works. You don't have to work in government.
Well, this is what we are saying. When you discuss it, we are discussing, the people in government will say, you guys are just here to beat on the government. But when you look at in 12 months, okay, in 12 months, $200 million was borrowed. Basically, it got to be like outside of the budget because they are not discussing it. 200 million. Mr. Cedar, that's a lot of money.
And it's a lot of money, and the government is not being transparent. If you borrow $200 million in a year, you have to tell the Liberian people where you borrow it from, what was the reason you borrowed it for, and how did you spend it. That was never disclosed to the Liberian people. The Liberian people do not even know that the government even borrowed money.
No.
And if the government, we can't keep borrowing our way out of debt. We can't. This government has to be serious about fiscal management. It has to be serious. Because obviously all of these debt, they are passing it on to who? The future generation. It is our children's children who will pay this money back. For what? For poor decision that is being made today. Again, this has to stop. This government has to be serious about fiscal management. This government has to stop the waste, fraud, and abuse. This government has to find a way to raise more revenue. This government has to find a way to become less dependent on foreign aid. Foreign aid does not develop a country. It creates a cycle of dependency. Look, Liberia is not only small country in the world. Liberia in the 60s, the Liberian economy was growing second to that of Japan. Second to that of Japan, when iron ore was one of the lucrative minerals on the world market. The economy of Liberia was growing second to that of Japan. What happened then? All of the money the country raised was squandered. And it is still being squandered today. You can tell me that you can put in place a sound economic policy to take 5 million people out of poverty when we are endowed with enormous resources. It is a shame. It is a disgrace.
Pewee, we have here one of the platform for the administration was rose. And here it said the Ministry of Health has launched its third quarter distribution of essential medicines and medical supplies ahead of schedule in anticipation of bad roads for the season. This is unreal.
It is unreal, but I thought it was, again in LRB, what we don't do in Liberia is that here and other Western countries, if campaign promises or commitment are not met, it's a problem for your next elections. It's clearly it's a problem for you, but we don't take that seriously in Liberia. So Liberian politicians use that blatantly to always deceive the voting populations. They will know that what they're saying, they're not going to do it, but they will say it. And their surrogates will come out and want to put a brave face to defense those kind of a nonsense. And sometimes it's good, what kind of surrogates, now you give them a hard punch in the face, right? But you will see people that still justifying the president's statement at the time that no car will hitch in the mud, even 100 days after, 100 days. Now we're going more than 1,000 days now, more than 1,000 days. Now it's the situation is compounding. It's terrible. It's all over the country, and even places that rolled far better before, it's bad now. Imagine the Ministry of Health is announcing ahead of time that in anticipation of the rain, that road will be impassable. They won't be pliable. We will have to distribute drugs. And remember, there are certain terrain in the country currently that are not even accessible by vehicles.
Yeah.
We don't have choppers to move into those areas. Those people will not get health delivery service or services, if you will. There are villages, major towns that are not accessible. They are not pliable via vehicle or even motorcycle at this critical junction. So imagine the Ministry of Health announcing far ahead of time that now. So this is the lack of paying attention. This is the way that we prove that the president is insensitive. For a president to be insensitive, and that's one of the things we're saying to the Liberian people. It's not about people hating the administration. It's about you paying attention. When we're telling people, say, "Oh no, oh man, Uncle Joe, no, Uncle Joe may be a good man. I think he's a good man, but the age may not permit him to get the job done. He's not a bad man. My uncle is not a bad man, and my uncle is not the type of person that you think he's strong. No, he's not. He's not one of those. And you see all over the world, we see these things happen. You cannot be brave enough to make someone president that is 80 years old entering the presidency. It's a problem. I would pray to reach that age. I like the old man so much that he reached a humble man. But the fact that the people use him, and now he does not understand, not that he doesn't understand, but he doesn't have the coverage, the temerity, and the strength to execute the responsibility of the office of the presidency. The office of the presidency is a very Herculean task. You are the president, the commander-in-chief, and head of government. So, I mean, to see what is happening in the country, that I don't know if you ought to ask that old man that he made a promise that there will be no car hitching anymore. Maybe he would believe that all the roads in Liberia are paved. He may perceive that. He may perceive that the roads are all paved. Probably the Minister of Public Works telling him, "Oh, chief, everything's okay." And he's going by that. And the reason why he's going by that, because he's tired. He's tired. And you want to understand that. I don't know, but Liberia put themselves now, and that's why the untold suffering in the country will continue, because we, the voters, are very much insensitive to our own national agenda. You cannot see a man turning 80 years old, you want to make him president. Come on. That man will be manipulated because he will be disoriented of the events of the country. And if one is disoriented completely, how do you expect the man to apply governance in terms of his supervision responsibility?
those supervisory responsibility, rather, how do you expect him to execute that? And he should supervise the cabinet because they serve at his will and pleasure. But he does not understand the happenings of the country, then what do you think going to happen? And that's part of the reason why all those guys are having party, SOEs. When they collect 50 million this year, they eat some, they do so. and then the minister find out they're lamenting. Unfortunately, they're seeking God intervention. And God will bless all of us. But you have to be strategic, Mr. Minister. If those guys are not giving you the cooperation and the thing you need, the best thing to do is develop many Liberians to resign from that kind of a job. One of the few people in Liberia I know that I've worked with that can do those things. We may have more, but those that have proven themselves. One of them, the first one that I worked with before the General Auditing Commission, may his soul rest in peace, Tower Veka. He resigned from the GSC because the Auditor General then was not working with him as Deputy Auditor General. He resigned. He didn't get the cooperation, the support. He wrote the president, asking, telling the president he's leaving. And he resigned from that position quickly. He moved, and he was having an audit firm before. He's a competent CPA. He was a competent CPA. He established a firm went big. They got in partnership with Pricewaterhouse. He was representing Pricewaterhouse in Liberia and doing a lot of other work over in Ghana and other areas. Unfortunately, he died in 2019. The next person I will say this to you, when he's not getting the cooperation that he wouldn't spend a second in the government, will be Dr. Jim Scully. JFK. Jim Scully wouldn't spend a second in government if he's not getting the cooperation that is required of him to perform his job. So, Mr. Minister, we hear a lot of things behind the scenes. But those guys are not cooperating. Leave the job. You are a competent person. You may find another job again. But to hold on, you saw Obama Kamara left the job. Oh, he saw all these things. He saw all these things, that the president was not in charge. And if the president is not in charge, if individuals in the bubble of the president, or in the circle of the president rather, or in his orbit, are in charge, meaning the country interest will be divided in those lines. Give me a group, Peabody a group, people a group, Sito a group. That's why I'm 40 now. Kofi Wu then will go the same thing. Kofi Wu said he was a human rights advocate before. He's one of the problems of Liberia. These are the problems Liberia got now. People like Kofi Wu. He's no damn human rights advocate. He's one of those that are bent on pillaging the resources of Liberia for selfish political agenda.
Well, the human right, it is his right to tell it that he's right. You're talking about. Dr. Peabody, I know we have to get off the air. We'll go off the radio at 8 o'clock. But this photograph here is a big truck carrying medication fast to the different countries before the end of July, because the government said the roads will be impassable. But yet, they kept saying road, and in 90 days there will be no car stuck. Here we are, the government is saying here, they need all deliverables to be done. All the drugs should be delivered in all 15 countries before the 28th of July, before the country shuts down. Okay. You are muted. You are muted.
You got a public work minister who is just on close show. They took almost $100 million they took when the president excuse my language, when the president took over. They said they used the word soul sourcing. It was soul sourcing so that they could get all the role and thing in place. You saw the same public work minister and his deputy. He's not an actual technical man. The main man is the deputy minister, but he jumped in front. You saw the two even get along when President Baka took over initially. He took contract and was awarding it to partner that he has share in. The public work minister Giddings, and awarded it to them. You know. So the thing is, you got a man who's not really the technical man. He's not really the main man that should be at the heart of public work. It should be a real road engineer. We have a road engineer that the public work minister have tried to sell out on many occasions. He want to be in charge. Recently, the vice president went to China. Who should have been on that trip? Not the engineer. The real engineer, when you were going over those caterpillar things, the road engineer should have gone on that. But you got a man there because of that they use as a dumping spot for Unity Party partisan, and that's why they kick in there. And you see really no roads going on. They made all this noise for nothing. Or we're so in the job, we're doing it wrong, and yeah, it's it. The same old thing. So that's just what I would say to that. They're not ready yet. They are not committed to ready doing the role. That Pewee said the old man is old. He's tired. If you are much younger, he would do better. But he's old. I mean, we all can agree here that when you reach a certain age, you just don't have certain energy. You can't.
Of course.
Well, Mr. Sita, and I gotta give it to my sister from Grand Bassa County, Nyobli Kanga. She says, we don't want him to campaign all over the country. We will do the work. All we want is his name. So everybody heard our interview. Everybody knew what she was saying. So why are we complaining now? She says everybody was complaining why the president is not campaigning in the southeast, central Liberia. They only carry him around Monrovia, and when they go into the town, they stay on the highway. And she said, we don't need him to do anything. We will do the lifting. We just want him basically use his name. Now we got him, and that's what they're doing. They said it.
But that's why there's a saying that says, be careful with for what you want. Be careful for what you want. It is, yes, Dr. Peabody said it right. Joseph Nima Bwaka is an honest man. He's a very honest man. And I can tell you a little story. When I came to this country more than 20 years ago, fresh as a Liberian journalist, I had a meeting with a representative from the Carter Center. By that time, Carter Center was very active in Liberia. And at this meeting downtown Atlanta, and we were discussing the future of Liberia. That was more than 20 years ago. And this representative, we were talking about, when Taylor leave, who is going to take over the country. And she called two names. One is Joseph Nima Bwaka. The other is the late Eugene Cooper, who used to work for Denko Lines, Denko Shipping Lines. Those are the two names. So the old man is old. He's an honest man, but he feels surrounded. It's like he's in a bubble. You understand? He's been surrounded. He's not energetic. And so the people that surround him, that's supposed to do most of the heavy lifting for him, are not doing it. What are they doing? They are seeking their own self-interest, not the interest of the Liberian people. That's why you see the government is failing miserably in some of its deliverables. Yes, the government, the president said rules, and he's committed to that. But the people that he have employed to help him implement his vision, they are failing him. They are failing him.
Well,
and that's a problem.
Honorable, my good old friend, Mr. Sita, I'm going to talk to you about what the president himself said. He was telling folks that prior to him coming to government, he said he sold a goat to one Fula man. He said the goat was a skinny goat, but he fed the goat with salt. The whole business like a bucket of salt. He said in 2 days the goat was big. He sold it to that man. This is the president himself. Is that an honest man? I mean, not,
Well, I don't know about that story,
I'm
but
not
I
saying
do.
that's what the president. That's
But I do
why he was
know.
president. That's why he said before he
But
became
I do know from talking to a lot of people that I've interacted with Mr. Bwaka over the years, can attest to the fact that he's an honest man. But it's just the fact that he's been surrounded by dishonest people, and then we have to say it as it is. He's been surrounded by dishonest people. They're not telling him the right thing, and because of his age, he does not have that energy to be to really assert himself. So that's the reason why you see many times he's very slow in making decisions. Take for example the situation with the LTA. I read in the papers that he nominated Mr. Martha. Some of his officials went and took and he sent a nomination to the capital, to the Senate, and some of his officials went behind and removed those names, and they had to redo another nomination. If that story is true, that tells you the kind of people he's been surrounded by. You have a minister of state who comes out and tell us, say that look, we have secured totally out of our purview, not within your scope of responsibility, when they made and negotiated for yellow machine, came to the country and bragged that we were bringing 285 yellow machine at the cost of some $70 or some $1 million. Only to turn out that that information was not true. It was intended to dupe the Liberian people. But yet instead, she stayed in government. What does that tell you?
wow.
What does that tell you?
Well, let's close
It
on
speaks
this.
volume.
Yeah, let's close on this. Pewee, let me start with you. They said to advance the Mana River Union Road Development and Transport Facilitation Project, House of Representatives ratify another $20 million loan agreement between OPEC funds for international development and Liberia. Passes the amended Monrovia Industrial Park Act into law. So there we go again. You were talking about, I think it was Mr. Seaton that said we cannot borrow ourselves out of our situation. They just borrow another $20 million. Pewee, I know you signed off on our loan. You are muted.
Which loan? Come back, I got distracted a little bit.
Oh, okay. The Mana River Union Road Development Fund and Transportation Facilitation Project. The House of Representatives of Liberia ratified $20 million loan, $20 million US loan agreement between the OPEC Fund for International Development and Liberia. Today, another additional $20 million for roads.
Wow. I mean, listen, the major problem we have in that country is rural infrastructure development. We backward, and that's the reason why we need a more progressive and proactive leader that will take charge of the system and ensure that it cut a lot of waste and abuse and over bloated bureaucracy, and then to concentrate on building our roads. And the most powerful thing of this country is the road connectivity. Sometimes going some of the bigger states, you see, leave the plenty, I'll put it that way, freeway we have, interstate freeway, leave one first. But go in some of the bigger states, even here in other states, and see the state route. This, that, the ability of them to connect this country, connect the states. It is very, very, very important. That's the power of development. So now we don't have to do it the way it is here. We just have to do it from the primary road. And connect Lofa and Bon, connect this and that, connect and our major cities, our capital city, Monrovia, should be well connected in terms of the zoning and the municipality of that city. And connect other major cities, Banga, Garguah City, as we all call it, Ganta also. And all the area Buchanan, city of Buchanan. This is a beautiful seacoast city. How can we structure that in a way that will connect? So to see the MRU doing this, I mean, and the MRU believe in this direction is for trade improvement also, because if the rules are all done in terms of the MRU basin, you're going to see trade and commerce will improve. If trade and commerce improve, what it does, the locals on the border and on the country, things start to improve, right? If the border between Lofa and Guinea, that part there's a river that they call the Myean River, we have a lot of difficulty in constructing bridge there. The cars during the rainy season, it will be impossible for cars to cross. But the Guineans constructed a bridge now connecting the two countries. But we didn't need to do that. I don't know if they have done that. That was in 2023 during the elections when I was at the border. So road connectivity is very important. And that's a challenge. And that's why the President Rain campaign said there will be no car stuck in the mud. In 90 or 100 days in here, no more in Liberia. But it seems that the president said it, the thing got worse. Because cars just backing back to back now. At this time, June, it started. Most part of the country now is not getting connected. And during the time when they started, they pumped in $25 million to do, they called it lateral road, right? They did the lateral road, and those roads were not done with seasoned engineers. And again, probably those contracts were issued in the need of kickbacks. And when kickbacks are given by construction companies, you remember what's going to happen. Jeru is given a contract to do the road from Soakley Junction inside Soakley to Dupero Coffee. That should be that would be about 15, 20 kilometer distance. And then you give the contractor an amount of, and the road, the actual amount for the road, cost of the road is $15 million. You tell the contractor, the $15 million I was giving you would take $4 million with the bureaucrats, and then you would take the $11 million. Now, that construction company owner, the shares holders in that thing, they want profit. They intend of investing in that business for profitability. If you get in out of $15 million project, you get in for $11 million, you took to $4 million, and they did have something to get profit, right? What are they going to do? If the road is actually that amount, so you already took $4 million, so they decided we'll go take the amount of profit of maybe $5-6 million, then the rest will put it behind the road. The road will be substandard. And that's why as soon as they build road today in the country, after 2-3 months, roads have to bust, put posts on the road. If there's a lateral road, they want to do all-season road. They will not do all-season road. They want to do it for the sun. When the sun is shining, the road is good. As soon as it rains, one bump, boom, it gets terrible. That's the problem.
Wow. Mr. Sita.
It's unfortunate.
We are talking about, I think under the president, we are administration, there was a plan. He says, if nothing else is done, all capital cities should be connected. That was the dream. I think maybe Pewee can speak to that later on, but that was the dream, that all capital cities should be connected. That was what he meant when he says, we do from Ganta to Saclay to this, then we go to Zwedru, then all that. That was the plan. So what's wrong with that plan? Even if you didn't bring that idea up.
And Lofa can benefit from that.
But it did.
Yeah, he started it. That was the vision. He started that. Voyama City is not yet. Voyama City is benefited from that other area. It started doing other cities. Like Banga and other areas start to see the result of that. I mean, it was part of that. You got to pave all of the cities. Go first and pave all those cities. While trying to connect the road from the major city, but then like for Banga City should be paved. Ganta should be. I mean, that been the thing.
Mr. Seaton, your brother, and this is what irked me a lot when I listened to Mr. Cummings when he said during the June 7 protest when they were talking about the development, they were talking about the road, and he said, "A road we will eat." He proffered that slogan, "A road they will eat." This is an educated man who wants to be president of the nation, telling the sitting president he's concentrating on roads, and he said that roads they will eat. These are some of the things we are talking about. So now, even if that was the dream and the plan is on the table, what's stopping the new government from implementing that?
You see, this is the problem with Liberia. Government is continuity. Normally, when a government plans and a succeeding government comes in, they try to implement some of those plans that are in the interest of the country. The previous government said that rule was paramount. This new government came in and said rule is paramount. I think what needed to have been done is to ensure that we get the necessary funding to link all of the capitals of Liberia. Many of our people that are subsistent farmers, right? They cannot take their goods to the market because they don't have farms to market roads. The various counties are not being connected. It should have been the priority of this government to ensure that all of these major counties headquarters are connected with what? All-weather roads. And look, this is something that is easy to be done. You try to get the necessary funding. Yes, I know we are borrowing our way out of debt, but you borrow your way in a responsible manner. For example, Mana River Union, they signed $20 million contract to maybe do the road from Liberia to Freetown. After you construct that road, you need to be able to pay the money that you use to construct that road. How do you pay for it? You put a toll on the road. You understand? You do the same thing from Yikepa to Logatua. I mean, from Logatua to Zerekure in Guinea. You pay that corridor. You put a toll there. You understand? If we start doing that, you put tolls on those roads for maintenance and to pay back the loan that is taken to build those roads, we will be getting somewhere. We will be getting somewhere. But again, I don't know the folks at the Ministry of Public Works, what are they doing? We have been crying about the road situation from Charlie King Town. And you know when a Liberia man said from Charlie King Town, that must tell you that from way back, we've been crying for roads. And we are still in the 21st century, we still cry for roads. Something is not working. Something is not working. We need to start thinking outside of the box. Because we have been on a road issue for a long time, more than 50, almost 50 years, boy. And we still can't get it solved. It's a shame. And lastly, before I leave, before we close the show, I just want to comment. I was doing something in the back when you talk about the president vetoing the bill that was created to decentralize the polls. I think that was a very patriotic effort on the part of the president to veto that. If you can recall, when Senator Weston Finley was on the show, I asked him whether that bill was in the interest of the Liberian people, and he said that he was opposed to it. He did not vote for that bill. And I want to say thank you to him and all the other senators who were opposed to that bill. And the president saw a reason because that bill was not in the interest of the Liberian people, and he vetoed it. But here's the problem now. The president, the executive branch, needs to make sure that the legislature do not override the president's veto. You understand? Even though he vetoed it, but the legislature can still come by and override his veto. Then it becomes law. So they need to start doing some serious lobbying Because all the boys, and maybe they have gotten their court to push that bill, and the president kick against it, they can come back and veto the president, override the president's veto. And then it still becomes law. Then they stick it on the Liberian people, to the detriment of the Liberian people. So we have to be careful. The president has to make sure he hears his people. They have to make sure that bill is not, that veto is not override. Thank you very much.
I have a little reservation when I read the president's communication. He said, I'm sending it back to them to fix it. That
no, they don't need to fix it. They need to scrap the whole thing.
I thought he was going to kill it, but he left them.
That's wrong too.
So,
they need to scrap the whole thing. That bill is not in the interest of Liberian people.
Definitely not in the interest of the folks, and they should fix nothing. They should scrap it.
Scrap it.
And it shouldn't work. But
thank you. Go back to the status quo and try to institute some reform to improve our seaport.
That's correct. Thank you very much. Mr. Pewee, you got a last word here. Closing.
Oh, yes. So, we just, and again, as we stated, we hope that the government will, some of those around the woman will feel for the country. What happened this morning in the country was a very terrible thing. They will have to reach out to that woman and show that she and her baby get some very good treatment and make sure they're okay. And I don't know if we're going to get to this, to our guys, if they can get in touch to connect some of us to see where we can give our widow might in those kind of a directions. But it was a very, very terrible situation this morning, and the government, we have to see reasons to serve the people. And the Liberian government can behave as though everybody on their own. We were just enjoy the point that when anything happened with the Liberian people, their cause knows nothing going to happen. And that's the reason why you have government. Even so, the president can be ordered insensitive, and his officials and his surrogates will just want to pillage the resources, and then nothing they want to say. You see things that come out and use propaganda and to get things done. Why would you be paying people and just for few? You give him one man, 100 men that amount of money, and then outside his pay and that of other money, then you cannot even put paracetamol in clinics and hospitals. And you have people who have to drive distance from one township to the next, or from one part of the city to the next. It's a problem. It's a problem. Bannansville, these are two major townships. Bannansville, you can combine the two because they are interwoven, right? There's a border township. You could put a very mini hospital there to serve that community. You read of Painesville already have not much. You do one in Painesville also, and then because the military hospital, 14 military hospital that we have built, that is in Myean County. That is in Myean. And so, we need to do that and try to petition the city in a way that we decentralize the health sector to the extent that it will be affordable, and the affordability and the proximity is also very important. Wherein the people, whenever they are in need of health interventions, they will see something nearby and they will see something affordable. So the affordability is very important also, but the accessibility is important. And also, I think, I don't see, and the people that should push the government to do, they themselves are selfish. They're the lawmakers. They're a bunch of corrupt individuals in there that just think about themselves. They believe the country is situated all about them. And that's the problem that we face with today. So, Mr. Gilman, it's just quite unfortunate, but we hope that we will continue pushing on behalf of the people, and maybe things, we want to see something. But unfortunately, it's sad.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We had a great week. We will be back here on Monday. We will be discussing Mama Liberia. Thank you very much for your contribution towards our young folks on the ground. We got to next week, Wednesday, to make up the difference. So please Send us some money on our Cash App and our Zelle, and we'll see you Monday. Thank you very much, Honorable Pewee, and I'll see you Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.